special presentation with regards to our Jewels of the Rhine cruise that's departing at the end of March 2021. Before we get into talking about this particular cruise, we'd like to spend a few minutes talking about safety and security and how Sun Tours is responding to these concerns as we go forward, because we know that's on top of everybody's mind. Here at Sun Tours, we consider the safety, the security, and the comfort of our travelers to be paramount. We're not going to go anywhere that we do not feel it is safe. A few people have already asked us, well, what if COVID-19 is still a problem next year and we've signed up for this tour? Then we will do the same thing as we did this past year, is we will postpone the tour. We will give people the option to cancel out and get a refund, or the opportunity to move their booking forward to when we feel they'll be safe again. We hope that's not the case, but we are prepared to postpone and cancel tours until we are ready to travel in a safe and secure way. We are planning for that to be soon and prepared for that to be quite some time into the future. We are working with the U.S. Travel Association. This is an organization, let me go back that slide, please, Nancy. The U.S. Travel Association is a consortium of tour and travel organizations that together are setting standards for safety, security, sanitization for tours. So we are looking at very careful standards so that we, along with our fellow operators, are prepared to make sure that you are safe when you are traveling with us. Let's go on, Nancy. Next slide, please.
Oh, sorry, going the wrong way.
In our office, we're getting ready to open our office next week. We're very excited about that. We will have limited hours. We're tentatively planning starting next week to be open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday, as well as Friday mornings from 9 till noon. In our reception area at our front desk, we've installed a transmission barrier, a plexiglass panel that separates the evening star, or whoever is at the desk at that time, so that it's safe and secure working with you when you're in to book a tour, make a payment, or whatever. In our main conference room, we've also installed a panel so we can sit down and work with you privately, especially when we're booking international tours and cruises, with a lot of different variables that you'll want to be able to discuss with us. We're also going to be able to schedule appointments for you. We would want to come in with an appointment when you want a sit-down meeting. And we will also do virtual meetings with you, just like we're doing right now. This meeting, we'll be able to meet with you online, go over all the details of a cruise, show you the staterooms, and help you make those important decisions. Keep on going, Nance. Hygiene, of course, it will be important. We have hand sanitizers available in the office. Next. And we're educating both our employees and our travelers about sharing about the importance of monitoring and continuing with good health practices. Next. I've already mentioned that. Let's keep going, Nancy. And next slide. For some of our tours, we are going to be focusing on smaller groups. This will allow increased social distancing on the groups, less crowding. We're also looking at using wireless headsets for communication when we are walking tours on our tours, so people don't have to bunch together in order to hear your tour director or your local guide. Next. And we're working at our destinations to make sure that they are using the same kind of health and security standards that we are planning on using. Next. Our buses, we're making sure that all of our motor coaches are following the same kind of procedures that are established by the U.S. Travel Association. And we're also Continue to design tours, making sure they're offering fun and safe opportunities in your tours. Next. On our tours, we'll have hand sanitizers available. We will be asking you to bring personal protection equipment, such as face masks, with you. We will be encouraging social distances while we're on our tours. We'll be having screening for passenger health. We'll be providing health questionnaires for you roughly 1 week before departure to make sure that all our passengers are in good health for the tour. Looking ahead, we can all think about the kind of changes that have occurred just in the last 6 weeks. And there's going to be more of those changes coming up in the near future. So we're constantly looking at those and we'll be adapting. And we're going to be there for you to make sure that we're ready to go when you're ready to go. Nancy?
Okay. Thank you, Frank. So we are going to talk about the tulip time on the Jewels of the Rhine today. And the departure is March 31st, 2021. I just want to say a big thank you to Frank and Leslie for allowing me to get on this Zoom call and present this trip to you. I've had such an enjoyable time meeting Frank and Leslie and all their staff this past year. And the couple times that I've been in the office and got to socialize with everybody was just a blast. Unfortunately, I probably won't get down there for a little bit of time yet, but these Zoom calls just bring everybody's beautiful faces to view. And I kind of feel like I'm in Albuquerque right now. I hope you have a lot of sun because it's raining here in Denver. Okay, I just want to give you a little bit of background on Mayflower. Originally, we were started in 1979, and we were with John and Mary Stocknick, and they owned the business for many years until they decided they wanted to retire, and they were bought in February of 2018 by Glenn Moroney. He started in the travel business in 1986 with Evergreen Tours. Then he quickly developed and expanded that to Emerald Waterways, and now we are called the Scenic Group. So we have our own ships. We have the Scenic Eclipse. We have the Emerald Azura being built right now. And we have many brands that Mayflower is able to sell. I just wanted to reassure you that Glenn is committed to seeing this company through this COVID-19 crisis. He has committed to continuing to build his ships. They're all on schedule with no delays. So we're very thrilled to be backed by him and supported by him. This is our sales staff, and we are all here to serve you. When you book a trip with us, we do handle your baggage. There's one thing we won't do is pack it for you, but we will carry it for you. Now, as the COVID-19 new regulations go into place, that may change where you might have to carry your luggage if the hotel staff doesn't allow for that, but we can get to that later. On our tours, we have a English-speaking tour manager with us at all times. So this person is great because, again, they will be very familiar with the area that you're going to visit. From time to time, we'll have a local step-on guide, and you'll also have a personal listening device. So you'll be split into smaller groups maybe, or you might step away, but you'll always be able to hear what your local step-on guide is saying. And again, we'll be English speaking. One of the things that Mayflower offers that a lot of our competition does not is our guaranteed share program. So you know, as a single person, if you've traveled before, you've had to pay a huge single supplement. What we offer is this program where you sign up for this and you pay a double rate. And then we match you up with someone similar in age and the same sex, and you're kind of considered like a college roommate. But if for some reason there is no other person on the trip that has signed up for this program, then you would be in a double room, basically at a double rate, but you might be by yourself. So it's kind of a win-win situation for a single traveler if you don't mind having a roommate. It's not a dating service, so don't look for that. It's just going to be like a college roommate. You don't have to hang out with them, just see them at night when you go to bed. Okay, let's start looking at the ship. Again, March 31st, 2021 is our departure date. So you'll come into Zurich, you'll fly into Zurich, and this is an 11-day trip with 23 meals. Not all the meals are included, but while you're on the ship, of course they are. You'll fly into Zurich, and then, oh, I seem to have lost the whole page here, sorry. You'll fly into Zurich. Sorry about this. Seem to have lost my notes. Okay, well, we'll fly into Zurich for 2 nights stay, and then we'll go into Basel, and we will board the ship, and we'll have a 7-night cruise. You'll end up
Nancy, can I interject here for a moment?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll fly into Zurich, and then we'll immediately coach a very short distance to Lucerne. It's about a 1-hour drive, fairly close. So our arrival it's an overnight flight into Zurich, and then there may be time for a quick look at Zurich, but then immediately into Lucerne. So we'll arrive there around, I believe, around lunchtime. And then we have 2 nights in Lucerne at a very nice hotel right there on the lake.
Yes, I think, Frank, you've done this cruise already, so please interject anytime so that people can hear your views on everything.
Be happy to, thank you. And let me just say right now that at the conclusion of the presentation, we will send everyone who's participating a link of a photo album from when Leslie and I went on this cruise last year. We were on the exact same cruise, same ship. So we've got lots of wonderful detailed pictures of everything from our room and other rooms on it, even things like the electrical outlets. You can get an idea of what those are like. Be lots of information for you.
Okay, so when you are in Europe at this time in April, your weather's going to be about in the mid-60s. It'll be a little chillier at night, and do remember you're on the river, so you probably want to dress in layers. But you're going to see spring popping out all over the place. So this is a really exciting time to go to Europe. We're really excited. These are a picture of one of our newer starships that we call them. And in fact, you will be sailing on a brand new ship called the Emerald Luna. It is being built now, no delays. We're very excited. And it is scheduled to be completed to start sailing in the spring of 2021. It has an indoor pool on board, and we have transfers at your destination to, like Frank said. We have 3 levels of excursions that are included. I'm going to go over that a little bit later. All your gratuities on board are included. Your personal listening devices, like I mentioned, for all of your excursions. You have complimentary beverages of beer, wine, and soda with lunch and dinner. So I'll go over all these things a little bit more in detail later, but this is pretty much a picture of what your ship will look like. Starting with our Category D and Category E cabins, this is our ocean view cabin. You can see the window there. And this is our, on our lower deck, the Vista deck. It's the Riviera deck. It's 162 square feet. All of our staterooms feature this window, and they're actually larger than the average standard stateroom on other cruise ships. So we have a shower in the bathroom, a toilet and sink, of course. There's a queen size bed, or you can actually have 2 twin beds if that's what you prefer. You have the mini bar and the safe in the wardrobe. The mini bar is stocked at your own expense. You have the flat screen TV. There's an individual climate control, and then the infotainment system on the TV, which we'll talk about later. You can come down every day. There'll be information on there, but you can come down to your stateroom at night, grab a bucket of popcorn up at the top, and you can watch the movies on your own TV if you don't want to do it in the lounge. Complimentary Wi-Fi, toiletries and hairdryer in the bathroom. This is our panoramic balcony suite. We have 3 categories of this. This is on the Vista deck, which is the middle, and the top deck, the horizon. It's about 180 square feet. These cabins go the fastest. They are the most in demand. So if this is something you want, please don't wait too long to make your reservation. I want to talk to you about, if you take a look at that ceiling to floor window, this is what we call our open air system. And this was innovated by Glenn when he started building his river cruise ships. You can see that it is incorporated into the floor space of the cabin. And if you go over to the wall, there's a button, and that top portion of the window slides down, and that becomes your balcony. So if you have cold weather, rainy weather, you can close that and still feel like you can see everything, but not lose the space in your cabin, which is, you could kind of tell that in this photo. Again, all the same amenities that the Ocean View cabin has. It has, again, the mini bar that gets stocked at your expense. There's the safe, the dresser, everything's the same pretty much. It's just a larger cabin. And then of course you have that balcony space incorporated into your area. The next category is our grand balcony suite. This is about 210 square feet. This category has, again, everything the same, has the open air system you can see, and it also has the ability to shut that area off if you want a little bit more privacy. For this cabin, you have an in-suite Nespresso machine. Ladies, that's the one that, oh my gosh, I just lost his name. George Clooney advertises on TV. He doesn't come with it, but you can enjoy his coffee. So you can relax and have a hot beverage at your time, any room in your room at any time. Of course, the coffee and the hot beverages are also available in the common lounges. You can also enjoy a continental breakfast on your balcony. You get a pre-dinner canapes in your room and after-dinner suites as well. So you have this spacious balcony, also equipped, like I said, with the open air system, and you're able to draw that curtain for additional privacy. In addition to everything else in the cabins, you have bathrobes and slippers. You have the in-suite minibar, again, stocked at your own expense. This cabin allows you to have a pillow menu and 2 items of laundry per day. So you can see the extra space on this layout. Bathroom's a little bit bigger, and then of course the extended balcony. Then we have the owner's 1-bedroom suite. This is about 315 square feet. And besides all the other amenities with all the other suites, this suite has a separate lounge, as you can see. You can shut the bedroom area off. It has a walk-in wardrobe, which I'll show you right here. You could see that on the drawing. Much bigger bathroom. And then as you can see, that open air system again, you can close that off, or again, if you close that, that's incorporated into the space of your room. This suite comes with 4 items of laundry per day. Your suite, your mini bar is restocked complimentary. So you can drink to your heart's content. And that is restocked daily with wine, beer, and soft drinks. They also give you the use of an iPad and an invitation to dine at the captain's table. Nice big area. This is bigger than my son's apartment in downtown Denver. So on this cruise, you're going to have a very fun-loving, English-speaking crew. Again, all of your gratuities on board are included. This is great, folks, because if you've ever had to make little envelopes for yourself to keep your tips that you're going to give at the end of your trip, and then you've had to dip into that envelope because you spent too much on souvenirs, this is great. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to make up any envelopes. You can give them extra if you so want, and that's what they're working for. They're working to please you, and they are at your beck and call. This is a shot of the restaurant. There's enough seats for everyone. We have one seating at night, typically about 7 o'clock. Usually you gather in the lounge around 6:45 p.m. for a briefing with the tour director about the next day's itinerary. But don't worry if you're late for this or you can't make it back. There will be a typed itinerary on your bed before you go to bed that night. Then you go into dinner at 7. Breakfast and lunch are buffet, and you have a complimentary beer, wine, and soda served at lunch and dinner, as I mentioned before. Dinner is a 4-course plated meal. Typically, you have several chef specials featuring regional cuisine. And then if you don't see anything you want with those chef specials, they always have 3 or 4 generic meals like steak or chicken that you can pick from. Again, here's the lounge. If you don't spend a lot of time in your cabin and price is an issue and you decide to go with that ocean view cabin, rest assured that there are lots of areas, common areas on the ship with floor to ceiling glass that you can view cruising. So don't worry if that's where you need to be and that's where you're comfortable being. There are lots of areas for you to sit and enjoy the scenery as we are sailing. Here's a shot of the indoor heated pool. Not a lot of cruise ships have indoor heated pools. You know, a lot of them have little wading pools, but this is actually a nice pool. And at nighttime, these people are actually sitting on top of the pool. So the deck of the bottom floor of the pool comes up, and they make a beautiful cinnamon area. And like I mentioned before as well, if you don't want to sit with the group to watch the movie, you can grab some popcorn and head down to your cabin and it will be on your TV. We'll also have some evening entertainment, maybe a local musician, a trivia contest, karaoke, a lot to do. Here's the fitness center. And what's new on our river cruises this year is that we have now added an activities manager on board. And this person is there to assist you, not only in the gym here, but if you want to have a yoga class, Pilates, they do water aerobics. We also have a track that you can walk on. This person also will coordinate guided bike tours with the e-bikes that are on the ship, maybe urban or rural hikes or canoeing trips. So this is all new as our clientele becomes younger and more active. It's an option for you. Again, the hairdresser. Here's the bar, one of the bars, another common area. Like I said, you can see the windows everywhere. You can also get a spa treatment. This is a shot of the sun deck, and what's really cool about our ships is we have one of those chairs for everyone on board. So you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. and go lay a towel out to reserve a chair. There'll be plenty of seating for everyone. And our fun-loving crew with the lunch buffet. On our excursions, and I'll take a minute to talk about that right now. You can see these folks have their personal listening devices. We have 3 levels of excursions. We have Emerald Plus and Emerald Active. They are included in your price. So the Emerald Plus excursion might be something like a city tour or a church tour or a museum or a food demonstration. Then we have Emerald Active. Again, that might be like a canoeing trip or a hike or a walk through a vineyard. It is going to be a little bit more walking. Sometimes when we go to a place that has a lot of steps, maybe that would be an Emerald Active tour. Again, both of those two are included in your price. Then we have 2 or 3 excursions that are optional called Discover More. These are at an extra expense, and they're designed for more of an intense exploration of something. It could be a concert, a classical concert, and they are designed for smaller groups. So when you get your documents and you see these excursions offered, those are the ones that you don't want to wait on if that's something you have interest in, because they are limited. Okay, we are in Luzerne, and very similar picture to where we have Frank sitting in front of. So you'll arrive in Zurich, as we said, and then you're going to be transferred to your hotel in Luzerne. And depending, of course, on your arrival, we want you to power through that day. We don't want you to take a nap. So you'll have some time to explore the area around the hotel, try to stay awake so you can sleep really well that night. And then this evening, you'll enjoy a welcome dinner at the hotel, and you'll get to meet the rest of the travelers that are going to be boarding the ship. After breakfast the next day, we're going to set out for an included walking tour of Luzerne. This monument is very iconic to the city and something that you'll see. It's actually a memory of the Swiss guards who were guarding the French palace, and during the revolution they were massacred in 1792. So this monument is dedicated to them. And like I said, it's one of the most famous monuments in Switzerland. Did you see this, Frank? I think he did. I think he's nodding.
Yes, I did. I've seen that a couple times, and it's really impressive. It's a big carving into the wall of this hill, and quite an impressive sight.
It looks very beautiful. You're also going to see the town hall and the chapel bridge, the town squares. So you'll get a nice overview of Luzerne, and then you'll have the rest of the day to explore it on your own. This is beautiful. And again, because we're going in the spring, these flowers are just going to be everywhere, and you're going to really enjoy the aroma and the color everywhere. The next day you have time on your own, or you can do this optional excursion to Mount Pilatus. And I bet you everybody is going to sign up for this if you don't have the fear of heights, because look at this view when you get to the top. This is just gorgeous. And you'll really want to take your camera. You'll take up the gondola up to the mountain, and you'll be able to see everything over Luzerne and the Alps. Then the next day, we're going to board the ship. You'll have time before dinner to explore the area around the ship, and then explore the ship itself, and we will set sail. Your first port will be Breisach, Germany. This town is situated amongst rolling vineyards and the river that shares its wine and food-loving culture with its French neighbors, which are just across the river in the Alsace region. So it's very French and German. The cathedral, the pastel-hued buildings and cobbled streets create this old world charm. And what we don't realize about this town is that it was totally destroyed during World War II. And when they rebuilt it in this old world style. You'll also be able to, when we visit the Black Forest area, you'll be able to, as the Emerald Active, take a hike. This area is just really, excuse me, full of charm, cuckoo clocks and other German specialties. I have a funny story about this. My cousin went and she was over there with her kids and she bought a cuckoo clock. And when she got back to the hotel, her husband was laying on the couch and she was so excited about this cuckoo clock that she bought here, and he had already gotten the bill. So it was not a pleasant thing to come back with, because he got that email right off that she zinged that credit card. But fun story. Those are the things you love to bring back. And we'll have a demonstration of a Black Forest cake. If we were going to do this live and I was with you, I would have brought this for you all to try. Your next stop is Strasbourg, France, and you'll dock in Kiel and then coach across the river to Strasbourg. This is the capital of the Alsace region. Again, look at all those flowers. It's just so exciting to go at this time of the year.
Strasbourg, Mary, Nancy, is a city that has gone back and forth to being a French city and a German city 6 or 7 times over a period of less than 100 years. So culturally, it's a very interesting city to visit. Also, you had mentioned earlier that there are bicycles on board. When we were there, we actually took the bikes and rode across the river. So we were actually ride our bikes from Germany to France and back again and into parts of Strasbourg. So that's the
cool.
kind of opportunity that exists on this cruise.
Yeah. You can kind of tell by the architecture is very similar to the port you were in before, with these timbered little buildings. This is kind of what they're known for. The square is just beautiful, open air cafes. You'll get to go through the town. You'll see the canals, the locks. This is a World Heritage Site. And that cathedral that you see in the background is their star attraction. Again, this area in the spring, the temperatures will be in the mid-60s, so you'll have very pleasant walking weather. Just beautiful. It has like that French, German, you wouldn't even really know if you're in France or if you are in Germany. It's just very similar. Then the next day, we'll continue upriver to Mannheim, Germany, and we'll coach over to Heidelberg. This is a university town, and about 1/4 of the population here are students. You'll have your choice today to visit the castle on a walking tour. This castle was actually hit twice by lightning. So it was destroyed in some parts, a lot of it was destroyed, and they only really rebuilt a portion of it. It's just a huge structure. After visiting Heidelberg, we'll have a wine tasting, or you can take the Emerald Active excursion and hike up to Mount Königstuhl. This is just a gorgeous view. It's so good that we have the ability to use our phones as cameras nowadays, because you never know when you're going to have this beautiful view or this scenic view and you want to take pictures, and you don't have to lug around a big camera. Our next stop, we'll cruise over to Koblenz. This is a 2,000-year-old town, and it sits at the confluence of the Rhine and the Mosel rivers. You'll have a walking tour of this town. Again, this town was first founded as a Roman military post around 8 BC. We can't even imagine the history in the United States that these Europeans have. You can visit the Ehrenbreitstein Fortress, which is just across the river overlooking Koblenz. And even though this fortress was never attacked, it was built to defend the area from the Prussians. While here, you can also participate on a Discover More excursion at an additional expense. You can go to Kochum and the Reichsburg Castle. Kochum is a little town with the castle way up on the hill. You can see that up to the left. My coworkers that have been on this cruise have told me they have been to this castle many times, and they just enjoy it every time they go. So you'll be able to see the Knights Hall, the dining hall, the trophy room, and the Bower. This is kind of what I think of when I think of like Beauty and the Beast or Cinderella's Castle or rooms like this. Then on day 9, we arrive in Cologne. This area was founded by the Romans, and this city is one of Germany's oldest and the largest city on the Rhine, Germany's largest city on the Rhine. It's famous for its World Heritage listed cathedral that you can see on the left there. And it's a major cultural center in Germany. It has over 30 museums and hundreds of galleries. It's a beautiful nighttime view. Again, the timbered buildings. After lunch on board, we'll have time with our local guide for a walking tour of the city. And then our tour will conclude at the cathedral, and you're able to go in and spend some free time here. It's just beautiful inside. Then back on board this evening, you'll join your captain for a farewell reception and dinner. Now to the highlight of our trip, right? The tulips. So this next day we arrive in Amsterdam, and we will see tulips and tulips and tulips. This is like so exciting. Unfortunately, this year they were not open to the public, but they reported that they had a banner year with their blooms, and they are expecting that next year it will be even more beautiful. So once we arrive in Amsterdam, we're going to coach over to the Keukenhof Gardens. This garden is one of the largest in Europe, and it showcases over 7 million bulbs each spring. It covers more than 79 acres. So you'll not only see tulips, as you can see here, we have daffodils, but you'll also see hyacinths, daffodils, lilies, roses, carnations, and irises. Just row after row and color after color of flowers. Mid-April, when we arrive here, beginning of April to mid-April is the peak time for viewing. So we're getting here at the best time. They actually start mid to late March blooming, and they go to the end of April, beginning of May. So we're going at a great time. Then that afternoon, you'll return to Amsterdam, and you have time to explore the city on your own. Amsterdam is known for its artistic heritage. It has an elaborate canal system, the narrow houses. The legacy of this city's 17th century golden age is its museum district. This is where they have Van Gogh. So you'll have time if you want to visit that museum. There's also some Rembrandts at these museums. Cycling is key to this city's character. There's numerous bike paths. So if you'd like to do this, please ask the activities manager on board. You can take out one of the e-bikes and you can plot a path with the activities manager on one of the many trails. Then tomorrow you'll get transferred over to Amsterdam for your flight home. You'll have wonderful memories of your cruise and of course, memories of those magnificent flowers that we saw in the Netherlands. So I am going to let Frank
Nancy, that's
take over
fabulous.
from now.
What a great review. Oh, look what we're starting with right now. We do have an early booking special. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the cabins and the pricing for this tour. But now, over the next really just about 10 days left, we have a $1,500 discount or $3,000 per couple discount available on staterooms on this cruise. It is a terrific offer, and if it's a cruise that looks like it's right for you, this is the time to sign up. Nance? So let's see, what is this tour going to include? Let's go through this. We've got all of our transfers. We've got, of course, our flight into Zurich and our flight home from Amsterdam. All of our transfers, our baggage handling. This run right through this, Nancy, please. Your transportation by deluxe coach, 2 nights at your wonderful hotel in Lucerne, your 7-night cruise with all meals on board. All your gratuities are included. The only gratuities you would be responsible for would be any optional activities, additional cost activities that you choose to take. Otherwise, all your gratuities are included. You've got your complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks with your lunches and dinners on board. There is going to be complimentary bottled water in your stateroom. You have Wi-Fi on board, all complimentary. The bicycles, we've talked a little bit about those. They're just great opportunity for people who are a little bit adventuresome to go out on their own or as part of one of the special active tours. In all your fees, all your air taxes, those are all included in the price. You'll have your Sun Tours escort with you all the way, starting right here at the Sunport in Albuquerque. So let's look at the prices quickly. The prices on this sheet are all based on double occupancy per person. So your level E Emerald stateroom, that's the lower level with the smaller windows. Right now through May 24th, $4,749 per person. Your balcony suites start at $53.99. Your level C, $58.49. Level A, that level A is the higher deck. And those nice grand suites at $62.49. All $1,500 off the price that we will have later in the year. We also have special pricing for singles. And here you'll see you get the same $1,500 discount. A single can get an Emerald stateroom for $75.44. So on most cruise lines, singles cost about double what a double occupancy price is. So Mayflower is very aggressive in terms of giving good prices for singles. In addition, they have that program where they will match you up. Sun Tours, you can match up with somebody here at Sun Tours on your own. You can apply for a roommate with Mayflower. And if you do that, you'll be guaranteed of being able to get the double occupancy price. You do not get to choose your own roommate. You don't have a choice in that program, so you should be aware of that. And we're happy to discuss that with you individually when you come in or meet with us virtually. Next slide, please. Here's a deck plan, and we'll just take a minute to go over this. The very bottom level, the Riviera desk, is where the rooms with these small windows are. And as you can see, there's relatively few of those rooms. The orange rooms are the level E, which is your lowest price point. And the green is your level D, just slightly higher in price, not a big difference. When we go up to our Vista deck, our C rooms are the light blue, which is the price we looked at a moment ago. And the purple is our B level prices. Again, because it's closer to the public areas, it's price slightly higher, but otherwise there's no difference in those rooms. Going up to the Horizon deck, the dark green are the A level deck. So these are, because they're higher up, they've got a little better view, but the A, Bs, and Cs all are identical in their layout of the rooms. And finally, the suites are your pink and your brown rooms. Some of the amenities on here that we've talked about on the same deck we're looking at, this Horizon deck, at the back you see that swimming pool. And it's very cool because a hard wood type floor rolls out over it, so it becomes an open deck in the evening, and it also becomes the movie theater. Very cleverly designed. The bow area of that level is your lounge with your bar, which is the number 10, if you can make that out there. There's an outdoor seating area in front, level 9. The deck below is where your dining room is. And finally, your top deck, the sun deck, is where you saw that beautiful, with all the lounge chairs out there. And the bridge, it's really interesting on these river boats because the number 2 there is where the bridge where the boat is run from, and it has to get underneath very low bridges, and the whole captain's bridge will lower down into the boat so the boat will fit underneath that those bridges that we go through. Next slide. When you book, we need a 20% deposit will hold your reservation. Final payment will be due on December 17th. The full details of your fees, your cancellation dates are going to be available online. And of course, we can share those with you individually. So for more information, you have our website. Melissa Lujan, who is our wonderful manager of our cruise department, will be available to meet with you. You can email her. That is her direct phone line there, 582-2357. So she can work with you. You can make a reservation with her or with another one of our cruise consultants to meet in our office in person, or to meet virtually online through a video conference call, just like we're doing now, but it would be a one-on-one call for you. And that really concludes our presentations. Do we have any questions that come up through our chat line? No one's at? If anyone has any other questions, you can put them on our chat line right here, and we'll try to answer them right now. Or else we're at 2:48, so we're right about on schedule for 45, 50-minute presentation. We're hoping that we will see many of you on this cruise. 2 things I'd like to mention. We will post a photo album from some of our pictures when we went on this cruise last year. And with some of the more personal pictures to give you a better idea of what the staterooms are like, what some of the destinations are like. So we'll post that on Facebook, and we will send you an email with a link to that album so you can get those additional pictures.
Frank, there's a question. What time did you go on this cruise when you went? What time of the year?
We were there in fall, so we did not get to see the tulips. But the cruise was this. We took the same itinerary starting in Lucerne and ending in Amsterdam. We did not go to the gardens because that was not the tour season, but otherwise it was virtually identical cruise. The ship, well, not the exact same vessel, is a vessel that's built to the exact same blueprint and specifications. So when we send pictures of them, what you'll see is going to be pretty much what you'll get.
How many passengers on the ship?
Can
the
I
ship
just
has,
get,
I believe,
okay.
the question is how many passengers, and it has a capacity of up to 180. There are fewer than that because where there are singles and staterooms, that lowers the number of passengers. Our Sun Tours group should take up a good percentage of the total ship.
And will you ask Nancy to talk about prices for excursions?
Prices for excursions, people are asking. There are very few additional cost excursions on this. The biggest one is the Mount Pilatus excursion, which takes this wonderful gondola ride up to the top of the mountain. And one of the fun things is you go up that gondola ride, as you go down, you can see the cows and you can hear the cowbells ringing as they're going up the gondolas. It's really quite special. And that is $135. The other excursions, I do not have the prices for them, but those tend to be less expensive.
And there's only 2 excursions that are extra.
There's only 2, right? The Mount Pilatus and 1 or 2 others. All your other excursions are included at no additional cost. When we went, Heidelberg was an additional cost excursion, and now they've built that into the regular tour. So you get Heidelberg without going at additional cost. And now they have these wonderful active opportunities with a hike and the group bike rides. None of those are additional costs.
And dining space, you want to talk a little bit about dining space? It's 1 seating.
The dining room is a lovely dining room. It's large enough for everyone to be seated. So people tend to go in right at 7 or they'll wander in maybe at 7:15 or 7:20. Um, but there is room for everyone to be seated. It's all, most of the tables, there's some 2 tops, 4 tops, some 6 and 8 tops for larger groups to sit together. Some of the 2 tops can be, they can be brought together. So it's a very comfortable and beautiful dining room with these gorgeous views around. The same dining room is used for, of course, for lunches. And then they have more informal meals in their lounge, at their bar. And oftentimes, Les and I would go up there where there would be a small buffet, a smaller selection, but wonderful foods, very few people sitting up there. We could sit there, look out, we could sit on the back deck and sit outside, or we could sit inside. Really a more lovely, more informal way to enjoy our lunches.
Do they have to book excursions before they go?
We will send information about your excursions. The question is, do you need to book for these optional excursions beforehand? The answer is we encourage you to do that, and we will send you information about booking those excursions well in advance of your departure. Is there a chance to see the kitchens? Yes, I believe we did. The kitchens are amazing. They are small, they are efficient. It's really mind-blowing, the creative things they create in these kitchens. And yes, you'll have the opportunity to see the kitchen. You'll have the opportunity to go up under the Captain's Bridge and see that as well. Somebody asked about the student prison. Yes, that will be on your Heidelberg tour, and we will be sure to include a few pictures of the student prison in our album. In Heidelberg, they had lots of rules for the students, and the students were encouraged at least once during their time there to break the rule so they could spend the night in the student prison. And then there's all this graffiti that you were in the prison, you put your own graffiti on the walls. So you see the picture of all this graffiti. So we'll send you some shots of that in our Facebook album. Any other money exchange? It's very easy. When you get there, you'll be directed to an ATM, and we encourage the use of using your debit cards and ATM is the best way to exchange money. Your credit cards are going to be widely accepted throughout the tour, so your need for cash is really minimal. Small souvenirs and things will want some cash, but you won't need a lot of cash, and it'll be easy to get.
So much is already paid.
Leslie's pointing out to me that because almost everything is paid for, it's only when you're out on your own. In Lucerne, you'll stop, you'll get a pastry and a coffee, things like that. Your credit cards will be accepted. But the one thing that you will need cash for is that when you're in for example, a train station or public places like that, sometimes you need €1 to get into the public bathrooms. So your tour director will make sure that you've got the opportunity to get that cash, and you'll have opportunity to the WC.
And I'll tell them where the really good shoe store is too.
And Leslie's pointing out there's some great shopping at good deals. We bought some shoes. Twice we've been to Lucerne, and both times we went to the same shoe store, where we found both men's and women's shoes at great prices. There's a wonderful couple of streets there for shopping in Lucerne. So when you got some free time in that first and second day, when you want to walk around to get rid of that jet lag, you get to do a little shopping.
And if we paid for our trip in 2020, will we still have the same excursions?
Yes, for the people who were booked for this year's tour and canceled but chose to carry on to next year, you've got some big advantages. We're going to make sure you get the same or nearly the same room that you had. Your excursions you're going to get refunded for, but for those of you who carried on and get a future tour credit, you'll be able to use part of your future tour credit to book that excursion, so you'll get that extra value. And of course, you'll get the original price that you paid. We're guaranteeing no increase in price for you, so you'll get all those benefits. And it looks like we're running out of questions now. So thank you. Those are all really good questions. We appreciate your participation. Next week, as we continue our series of Thursdays with Sun Tours, we're going to talk about coming back to the US, and we're going to be talking about our Black Hills cruise this
Tour,
August.
not cruise.
Excuse me?
Black Hills Tour. It's not a
Oh, it's
cruise.
not a cruise. I'm sorry. You're right. Black Hills Tour. This is a tour by coach. It departs from our office right on Louisiana Boulevard. So all you got to do is get to our office, and we go first day up to Denver and overnight, and then up into the Black Hills area where we'll see all those wonderful sights, including, of course, Mount Rushmore, Deadwood, and so many other sites. So we'll go over that in detail for you next Thursday. We'll hope you join us at that time.
Bye, Nancy. Thank you.
Okay,
Nancy,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being our partner and for helping put together our first ever virtual Thursday at Sun Tours.
It was fun, and thank you so much, Frank and Leslie and your whole staff. I can't imagine that anyone would want to travel with anybody else but you guys. So thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.